Hello, welcome back to Real Talk. We are so happy to have you back with us today in the community. This is a safe space and a safe place. It's a women's platform that we have to highlight and to be able to communicate and talk about those things that are concerning us in the community. It's a place where we're able to be ourselves and we're able to highlight each other, encourage each other, strengthen each other, inform each other, and we're able to respect each other. And, it's great conversation always. I am Dr. Kim Brown Barber, better known as Dr. Kim. And I am CEO of Journey to Becoming, where we always know life is all about the journey and getting to where your goal is, but it's much to learn in the journey to getting to your goal. And we try to help you to be able to be your best self in getting to that goal through the journey. And my co-host, none other than the queen of feeling fabulous herself, Rochelle.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rochelle Marie Lawson, the queen of feeling fabulous, owner and founder of Blissful Living for You, founded to help you all to unlock your bliss so that you can step into living the life of your dreams by balancing the pillars of wellness, wisdom, and wealth. And I am so excited to be here with the ladies, the panelists, as well as my co-host. We have a great show for you now. Again, you've probably seen this. If you've seen us, you've heard this. If you like the show, please subscribe to the show. Join us. We are piggybacking on multiple Facebook Lives right now, but join us and enter comments so that we can have some dialogue with you all watching us, as well as with the panelists that are here with us today. So I'm turning it back to you, Dr. Kim.
All right. Thank you. I tell you, this is awesome. I'm just so excited to talk about this subject because this is one of the values in Journey to Becoming when we talk about it. And I know Rochelle has it one of the values in Blissful Living as well, because it's important for a woman to be empowered, right? And that's one of the things we look at. And our topic today, and we're going to get to our panelist introduction, but I want to get the audience excited about what the topic is today. The topic is women in finance, okay? Show me the money. All right. Everybody knows that from that quote in that movie, right? Women in finance. So we have our panelists that are going to be with us today. We're going to have a discussion. This is very organic. They have not received questions in advance. This is very organic. So it's going to be awesome. So why don't we start with you, Taylor? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Taylor Zompolis. I'm a communications specialist. I'm excited to be here and answer some random questions. I'm all for it. Let's go.
All right. Thank you. Welcome. And Carola, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Carola Castro, and I am from Honduras, La Ceiba. I have a small business. I'm a small entrepreneur, and my business is about organic products. I'm very happy to be.
Welcome very much. We're so happy that you're here. Yes, we are international. We're letting everyone know we are international, right? We're coming all the way from Honduras to Honduras and all over the map. So join the party. Join us on Real Talk, okay? All right, so we're going to get to it because it is going to go fast. So now I just kind of read some stats to you, and then I'm going to ask you the question, okay? So in the Kiplinger report for 2019 Women, Money, Power Study, it was found that when compared with the 2016 and 2013 data, women are actually doing worse financially, both at home and at work. One of the biggest drops was in the percentage of women who say they are the breadwinner in the family, which is now at 38%, according to the 2019 Kiplinger report. This was down 22% from the past 6 years. Additionally, they said fewer women are asking for promotions or raises at work. They said what's more, fewer women are saying that they are the CFO of their household. They said all these things are considered. It's no wonder women are feeling less financially secure overall at 62% in 2019 compared to the 68% in 2016. Now, they talk about different reasons, and we won't go into that right now because I want to ask the questions first. Now, we hear that. It doesn't mean that all women are in this position. It just means that they're looking at the data, they're seeing some drops, and they're asking some questions. So here we are this evening or this morning or whatever, what time it is where you're listening or seeing this, about women and money. And one of the things that they kind of lean towards is, you know, what it means to you, right? So what does money mean to you and why? That's going to be the first question that we're going to ask everybody. What does money mean to you and why? So we're going to start out, and you can comment on the stats or whatever, it doesn't matter, but I do want you to get around to the question of what does money mean to you and why? And let's start with Carola. What does money mean to you and why?
Okay, so you know that Honduras is a third world country, right? So in my country, as an entrepreneur, there is a lack of knowledge in finances. So everything that I know about finances, I'm learning online right now, or in the few workshops that I'm taking. So what do I know about finances is that normally, especially in my country, they teach us especially to go shopping, you know, buy our groceries and pay for our bills. So for me to be here, it's really excited because I'm looking forward to people to know that there is countries like this, like Honduras, that we are very rich in natural resources, but are very poor in knowledge about finances and other stuff.
Okay. See, this is good. I'm glad we're getting the international perspective. Thank you very much, Carola, because it's good for us to kind of see what is happening not only here in the United States, but outside in other countries, and what money means to a lot of the people there and at other places. So, all right, let's hear from you, Taylor. What does money mean to you and why?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I think to me it means stability. So having some type of foundation, and I wasn't raised being a budgeter. So my family was not, they always were very conservative with their cash, but they never explained to me what it was or how to do it or how to manage it. So it's something that when, you know, adulthood hit, it was something that it's like, okay, how do I do this? How can I squirrel away to know that I'm comfortable to be able to pay those bills coming in, to be able to manage these things? And I was a freelance graphic designer, so you never know when your next project is going to come in. So really figuring that out. So to me, having that is the core symbol of money to me is having stability, right?
Stability.
So having some type of core foundation to be able to not worry about your next check, or to build a little bit of foundation that you have all your bills managed or whatever it is. So that would be key to me. Yeah.
Wonderful. Good. This is great. I love it. All right. Now, Rochelle, talk to us a little bit about that, co-host.
Well, I think the date, 2019 is a little bit different than what's happening today, because we have an abundance of women that have actually left the professional quote workplace and have started their own businesses. And have become the breadwinner by doing something that they love. So it's a little bit different dynamics right now. But to me, money is energy. That's it. It's energy, and in that energy, there's power, there's fear, there's abundance, there's prosperity, there's anything you want it to be. But definitely it allows, the more you have, it allows you to have more freedom and more control over what you can do in your life. So you can take it from a couple of different perspectives, but for me, it's energy, and there's never not enough of it. You just have to learn how to tap into the flow, the ebb and flow of it, to have what you need come into your life. And yeah, that's my thoughts.
Awesome. I love it. See, that's what I love about Real Talk. We're having real conversations about what it really looks like, what it feels like, right? And I'm hearing lots of different things, right? One of the things you're hearing that, okay, we have a lot of resources, but we don't have the knowledge of what to do with the resources, right? Then I'm hearing stability, right? It means stability, a foundation, but I wasn't taught it. I had to kind of learn it, right? But it means stability for her. And then you're hearing like it's energy, it's the ebbs and flow of the energy and being able to tap into it. See, this is good to understand. What is it, right? What does it mean to us, right? And then being able to dissect where we learn that from, right? because there's a relationship that goes with everything that we're saying about what it means to us. And that's what we're going to dig into next, because, you know, with that, of what it means to us. And I think Taylor kind of talked about it a little bit too. And so did Carola, because they were kind of talked about the background and foundation of why it was meaning that, right? So what is your relationship to money now and why? And where do you think that comes from? Because I think, Taylor, you kind of talked a little bit about it, about, you know, well, but then when I was younger, this is, you know, I wasn't really taught this as the female, but then I had to learn it and figure it out. And then Carola was talking about how she's learning what she's learning online, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. Carola, won't you start and talk a little bit about what's your relationship to money now, and why, and where do you think that comes from, like from your past?
Okay, so my relationship with money, it's not good right now because I'm programming myself. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm
No,
gonna be
real
good with the
talk.
money.
It's real talk.
Yeah, but I'm programming myself to make money to fall in love with me, because since I was a little child in this country, they don't really support small businesses. You know, it's really sad, but they teach you how to be poor and go to school and be a worker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you were poor, you're supposed to be poor your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the energy that it's been given since I was a child, and it continues. The only thing now is, like, if you were poor, now you have to be more poor. So, but for me, there is something inside my heart that it's like money is a tool, and this is a beautiful country, and I can do great things if I have that tool with me. And I have kids, and I want my kids to have a good future. And how can I give them a good future if I have that tool to make it work? Plus, I can also help other kids and other people if I have the money with me. So right now, my relationship with the money, it's a working progress, and hopefully one day we'll be in love together.
I love that. Oh man, I've got to give your hand on that. I love it, Carola. I love it. I mean, somebody's relating to you out there about that energy, and knowing how, like, about a country teaching you to be poor and to be more poor, to be a worker, and if you were born this way, they're teaching you to be that and to be a worker. And this, you know, somebody is relating to that, saying, yeah, not only in your country. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one alone, but that's what someone said. Yeah, not only in your country. So, you know, you can take that and run with it in many different ways. But that is, wow, right? That says a lot. And that tells you about how it is, that energy, and how it's taught, right? What does it mean? And what's the relationship we have? We never, a lot of times, are taught to even stop to think about what's the relationship we have with money and why. All right, Taylor, talk to us.
Yeah, so I would agree 100%. I'm vibing so much with this whole energy talk around money and the ebb and flow of it coming in and out. I feel it in my core right now. So
I feel it too. I'm like, woo!
Speaking to me. So we have, so I would agree. Exactly. Get that wave.
Yes.
So I would say it's the same thing, like any relationship, right? So there's that give and take. So there's times in my life where I am like penny pinching. I am making sure to like hunker down. And then I know there's peaks where I'm going to have to invest in myself, right? I'm going to have to invest in it because it's mandated, or I'm going to have to invest in it to be able to get to the next stage of wherever it is. So it's that. It is definitely a relationship of I'm giving a piece of myself to it, or I'm having to take from it, right? So that's what I would say. It's a core relationship, and one that you have to keep building on, or it falls apart, right? I'm not learning to fall in love with it. We're past that point. We need to figure out a mutual relationship where we
She's
can
like,
cohabitate.
I'm not in love with you anymore.
We can
past
cohabitate and we can function together. We're no longer
drop the mic, Rochelle. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. That's a drop the mic right there. We have this thing on Real Talk where we drop the mic when something is said that's like, oh, so profound. That was a drop the mic.
I love it.
Like, we can cohabitate, but we're just not. I'm not in love with you. Right. We can cohabitate, okay. Woo! Someone said me too. Someone said Me too.
I love
Oh
it.
my gosh. Okay. The audience is loving this conversation. All right, Rochelle, go for it.
So I like what the ladies shared, and I want to backtrack just a bit because I
Mhm.
made I said what money was to me now.
Mm-hmm.
However, it wasn't always that way. I didn't always
Talk
see it
to
as
us.
energy and the ebb and flow in things, particularly when I was young. I'm a hustler and grinder. So I am going to, whatever I want, I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can to get it. And when I was growing up, I was taught work hard, always have a little savings account, and if you work hard, you'll be, you'll make ends meet, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Mm-hmm.
was that little girl that was like, well, I don't want to just make ends meet.
Yeah.
I want to own the, I want to be on the ship. I want to own the ship.
There
So,
you go.
I want to say, as I was growing up, I learned a lot of stuff. And at one time I was a finance major. So I learned a lot of stuff that wasn't taught to me as a child. And I think the importance of this whole conversation is anybody watching us, listening, it's so important for us to teach our children
Mm-hmm.
the little things about money. Because as
Mm-hmm.
a kid, we think well, why don't you have more money, mama?
Right. Just write the check.
Right.
See, back in the day, it was just write the check and some paper. Use your card.
But
Just
the
use
reality
it.
is, when they get to college or outside of high school, I'm going to say kids realize they have no clue about money. And then it's
Mhm.
a hard school of knocks to
Mhm.
learn about it. And if you're not somebody that wants to learn about it, you can struggle a little bit
Yes.
or a lot.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think the whole conversation with us, what we're saying is it allows us to have freedom, stability, security. And when you're in the ebb and flow of that, when you learn how to ebb and flow within that, then it becomes more of not so much hard work, but more of just accepting, putting out what you want, accepting and waiting for it to come in. And and making sure, of course, you have a savings account and you make the right investments, of course.
Mhm.
But yeah, I love it because in Honduras, it's a whole different mindset and it's a generational thing, right?
Sure it is.
Carola just happens to be that little girl like me and thinking totally outside. What do you mean I can't have a business? Watch me, right? And Taylor's like, yeah, I'm done with the relationship. We just gonna cohabitate together. We're in this business together and we can elevate each other's platform. And it's beautiful because I think that's stuff everyone needs to hear, and I'm sure people are relating to our conversation.
Oh, totally. And it's a conversation we need to have as women. I think a lot of times we and then let me I want to put that out there, and I agree totally with teaching your children about money and talking about money, because I think in different cultures it's different too. All right, and even in subcultures it's different too, right? That I mean, a lot of times it's like, oh, we don't talk about money. I don't know whether you've been in the situations or families where it's like, oh, we don't talk about money. That's getting personal, to ask people about money, right? Or to ask, a family member about money and to have them to teach you and tell you, like, well, what do you do with your money? Like, how do you make it grow? What do you invest in? How do you know what to invest in? How do you save? What's the percentage of savings that you do? How much do you spend on a car? How much do you spend on a house? And why is that percentage? And how do you come up with that? And how do you do that? I mean, what I'm saying? It's like all these questions that you have about money that nobody really sat down and told you. Even Carola was saying, like, I'm learning this stuff online, just kind of like, trying to piecemeal it together. Taylor was talking about the same thing. Like, yeah, she knew it was there, but it was like, I had to figure it out. I had to sit here and figure it out. Rochelle, same thing. Like we were all talking about, we all had to, especially being women, it's different because if you're a man, it's kind of like, okay, as a man, let me kind of tell you. And in some cultures, they may not even tell the men. I don't know. It depends, right? But they're going to tell a man a lot of times first. And that's where Kiplinger report was even reporting on before women. And even they have the stats showing it from the 2019. Now, granted, this is before pandemic, but 2019, I mean, you're only talking about a few years ago. This is where it was, and it was dropping. And the knowledge of it was dropping. And then the confidence in the money of not asking for promotions, they were saying, and not asking for raises or not asking for, what they should have, right? Carola talked about not having, these different things and some of the places not allowing them and not wanting them to have it, but you deserve it. And you need to know and be confident and know that you deserve it. So I'm going to go to the next question because it is good and it's going fast. All right. So So I want to go through this. Like, why do you think there was a drop in confidence for women in finance? From the 2019 to 2016, because they do this particular poll every 3 years. Why do you think there was a drop in the confidence for women in finance? I talked a little bit about that there, but what's your idea of it? Not necessarily what Kiplinger found, but what do you think has happened? Rochelle, why don't you start us out?
Why do I think there was a drop? I think there was a drop because 2019 was a very important year. It was a year where women started speaking about the inequalities of pay and the inequalities of positions and the inequalities of everything that had to do female versus male, the sexual harassments and all that kind of stuff. So 2019 was a very pivotal year for women coming out and saying, hey, you know what? I'm tired of you treating us this way. We're just as qualified. Sometimes we're more educated and more knowledgeable than the fellas, but we're still getting treated like we're second-class citizens. And you know what? To get this job, I had to lift up my skirt and bend over and show you my thong. So it's a year that I think exposed a lot with regards to women and our issues around money and finance that was kept under the cover, so to speak, or swept under the rug because it wasn't something that they wanted to stir the pot. Let's not get these women upset. Let's not stir the pot about that. If we don't say anything, and if they're not smart enough to mention anything, any disparities, then let's just go with the flow. Just not have that simmering pot boil over. But in 2019, women were like, to heck, we're not only boiling the pot over, you're gonna have to really clean the stove because it's all on the stove. And so I think it was just that year, that specific time that things need to be brought about. And the funny thing is, in 1919, isn't that one of the years or around the years when the women's suffrage movement?
Yeah.
So it only makes sense. 19 must be an important year for us women.
Right? Something like that 19.
Right?
For the women.
For the better. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So we're going quickly through this, and I appreciate Rochelle giving some insight. Taylor or Carola, do either of you all have some insight you want to give on that before I ask the last question, because we're already down to like the last 5 minutes. Okay. So I want to ask this question. Okay. Rochelle summed it up perfectly. So it was perfect. I was like, there you go. There you go. And it was timed perfectly because I was like, okay, I only have so much time left. But one of the things I want to talk about, because I always like to talk about what's going on, and we can talk about the ups and downs, but I like to leave people with what's next. How do we move forward? What can women do to move forward, in having a better relationship with money, understanding the energy and knowing about the ebbs and flow? How can we have a better confidence in that, and moving forward as we get ready to close out? How can we move forward? I need to leave everybody with some closing remarks of how do women move forward with having a better relationship with money, having a better ebb and flow with money, all of that. Taylor.
I would say get comfortable having those hard conversations about finances and really taking a deep look at where you're at, right? So we're all at different stages in our lives. We're all at different stages financially. I think having those hard conversations with your employer about what your value is and knowing what your value is with the data points. So knowing your market rate, knowing what you're worth, knowing the work that you're doing is valued and you're a team member, and coming in there and asking for those advances is key. They're uncomfortable conversations, but I think you will not advance if you don't have them. It's very rare for anyone to seek you out and just give them to you, right? So you have to kind of work and fight for those things in your life that you want. So I would say getting comfortable with the uncomfortable conversations around money with anyone, figuring out your budget and where your blind spots might be, and then having those hard conversations to advance yourself, because you are your best advocate.
Excellent. Thank you. And you're right. You are your best advocate. If you don't do it, who's going to do it for you? Just like for health or anything else. If you don't speak up, who else is going to speak up? All right. Carola.
Okay. For me, it will be education and believing in yourself. Searching more. We have the internet right now that if, for example, over here, finances are so tight that people can't afford to go to college, but we have YouTube and we have shows like this where we can learn. So education for me, it's number one. It don't matter how the age that we are, we
I
can
love
always
it.
learn. Teaching our kids, helping other people, and teaching other women. Because if we all get together, women are we are so powerful. We just don't even know
Yes.
it. So it's amazing. So for me, that will be knowledge and education.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Exactly. We need to help empower each other. There are some women out there, that's what they do. Their focus is dealing with investments and finance. Rochelle and I, just stay tuned to Real Talk, because Real Talk's going to have some other things coming up during the course of this year, guys. So stay tuned. Subscribe, because if you subscribe, you'll know what's going on, what we're going to do, and educating and giving them knowledge. Isn't that right, Rochelle?
That's right.
All right. So, Rochelle, you got to close us out by giving us that last thing. You know, it always comes to you to close us out. Close us out to give that last thing.
I'm going to say, I love what the ladies shared. Definitely. Find a mentor. If you don't know about events, find a mentor, somebody that looks up to you, and you can have conversations about. You don't have to share your personal stuff, but pick their brain about what to do, how to look for stuff, what is investment, what they should be looking for. Ladies will, if you go to someone that you admire and you look up to, they will take the time to share with you their knowledge. Okay. And the other thing is, get a group of girls. Like how I first started learning about investments, I was 25 with 2 little children in my business. And when the Beardstown ladies, I don't know if y'all remember this, but they had something where they did this whole thing about these older ladies that did investment.
I do remember that.
Yeah, everybody had formed these investment clubs. When I was in an investment club as a 20-something with women that were in their 60s, ready to retire from Lawrence Livermore Lab, and they were serious. And so I learned a lot, and I just carry that on forward in my life. So get a mentor and, get with your girlfriends and just go through some stuff together online. It's simple. You can do 30 minutes once a week, but that 30 minutes will be powerful wisdom that you will not have to pay for it, and will help you tremendously when it comes to your wealth and keeping your wealth in your pocket and leaving it for your future generations.
All right. Well said. We're out of time. I knew that was going to happen. We were going to get into it. It was going to be exciting. Well, I hope you were able to get a little bit of something from us today. And if you did, subscribe, because more is coming. We have some fabulous conversations. And wherever you're hearing this, some are hearing this live, some will be hearing it recorded, some are streaming, whatever it is. But get into this Real Talk, because we are really changing lives, and we want to empower women to be able to be the best self. So we'll see you next time on Real Talk. Bye-bye.